In Fincher we trust. That, my friends, is a motto to live by. Just saying. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here, back with another movie review, another old movie review. I have been pumping out a lot of these over the last couple of days because I am leaving. I am not going to be here for a whole week. I'm going to take a break from YouTube. I don't know why I just said it like that. No, I am. It's true. I'm not going to be around for a week because I'm going to be filming a movie. I'm going to be on a shoot for a feature film that a friend of mine is working on and directing, so I am not going to be present. For that reason, I'm trying to get to you guys as many videos as I can, and I watched a lot of movies this past weekend and these last few days that I have never seen before, so I wanted to, obviously, of course, review them for my old movie review series, why not? And the film that I picked for today is a movie that's been sitting on my shelf, my Blu-ray shelf, for so damn long, and it was killing me. I was like, I want to watch this thing so bad. I love this director. I need to see it. Period. Movie I'm going to be reviewing today is Zodiac. Zodiac, that's right, was released in 2007, and it is directed by David Fincher, aka, as I said, if you couldn't already tell by my opening, one of my favorite directors of all time. I love this man, and I haven't even seen all of his movies. I think with Zodiac, I've now seen 6 of his movies. I think he's done like 10 or 11 of them. He's just such a good director. Okay, that's enough. Moving on to Synopsis. No, but a lot of people love Zodiac. Some people say it's Fincher's best. Some people say it is his most overlooked movie in terms of when people put like their top 10 together and everything. This one is always the one that should be on top because most people probably leave it off or something, or they forget about it. You know, they overlook it, kind of. Now I'll give you my thoughts on Zodiac and where I stand, and probably, I guess, where I'd rank or I'd put this movie in the Fincher films. But Zodiac, guys, is set over a 30-plus year span in this investigation of this man who referred to himself as the serial killer, who referred to himself as the Zodiac. This took place in the California area, specifically like San Francisco, Vallejo, in the 1960s and 70s, and we follow a group of reporters and a cartoonist working for the San Francisco Chronicle, a pair of detectives as they try to crack this case, and which leads to an all-out manhunt for this one serial killer known as the Zodiac. He's gone around, he's killed couples, he's done it in brutal fashion. They're looking for leads, they're looking for something that'll give them anything that this guy is, to find their guy, to get like a main lead suspect. They will literally go after anything, and they will go to the greatest depths of this case to crack it, essentially. Especially some characters more so than others. And that, my friends, is the plot synopsis that I'm going to give about Zodiac. That's all I'm going to say. It's not a movie essentially about characters trying to find this one killer. It's really about the case itself of the serial killer, the crimes he's done, recreating those specific crimes, and showing us our main characters and them trying to gather this information and essentially crack the case. That, my friends, is the synopsis behind Zodiac. Now, before I go any further into this review, I need to say this much. Holy crap, the facts in this movie. Whoa. David Fincher, I read up a little bit about this movie after having watched it for the first time on Blu-ray. David Fincher, I guess the writer, the screenwriter, the producers, the rest of the filmmakers, they took what I read was 18 months before they even started working on this movie to investigate the case themselves. That's right, they talked to the actual victims, they talked to the actual people who they are portraying in this movie just to get everything factually correct. And man, oh man, did it pay off. Now, I never in my life have I ever been to or lived in LA, nor was I not born during the 60s and 70s. So not only did I know nothing about this case, but after having watched the movie, I felt like I knew a great deal about this case. about everybody who was working on it, all of the people who were interrogated and questioned, all the prime suspects and everything. I had such a better knowledge of everything going into it, leading me to believe that this film is incredibly accurate, historically accurate, and I feel that that is something that Fincher would not have wanted to left undone with this story. I honestly feel he's the type of director who's so intricate, has a certain vision for something. The last thing on earth he would want is for a story that is based on true events, based on people that actually were alive, based on a case that actually happened. He wanted everything to be portrayed as accurately as possible, and I 100% am giving this movie all of that credit for that right off of the bat. For them taking all that time, that's over a year, to investigate an entire case that, to this day, and this isn't really a spoiler, I'm not really spoiling anything, is still unsolved. Yes, many people feel that they know who the Zodiac killer is, even after all this time, but there are still a large majority of elements in this case that are still unsolved to this day. And I read one thing that I thought was so amazing. I IMDb trivia a lot of things, guys. That's just me. I read one thing that was so amazing about this case. Right after this movie premiered and after it started, people started watching it and talking about it, they reopened it in 2007 and tried to look into more things regarding this case. I mean, what does that tell you? How factual does that tell you that this movie was trying to be? Excellent props to Fincher, the writer, the producers, and everybody who worked on this movie from that aspect of it alone. That being said, Zodiac is a 100% highly gripping and just dark and deep crime drama thriller that I just was, oh my goodness, I could not, it festered in me. It made me feel dirty. It made me feel like obsessive. It made me feel confused, just as I'm sure this case did to the actual people who were investigating into it and trying to catch the serial killer. I was 100% into this movie from that opening scene alone, and I knew I was in for a treat. And this is yet again another near flawless David Fincher movie, and it's just another testament to how great a director this guy really is. I'm telling you, there is not one shot that is badly framed or badly composed or that isn't intentional. Everything that's happening in the frame is intentional and there for a purpose because it's Fincher and he knows what he wants in a damn movie, guys. It is David Fincher. Yeah, this is just another movie that further proves my point that Fincher is one of the best directors and one of my personal favorites working. He knows what he's doing. He has the talent. He has the skill. He has the patience, I could see, to do all of these takes. And he gets the best performances from his actors. And he gets the best looking result in terms of the shots and in terms of how the movie looks in the end because of how intricate and just close to detail he is in every single thing that he does. And that's why I love David Fincher. He has a certain tone and style that he goes for in each of his movies, and it's again prevalent in Zodiac. There's this very dark and underlying creepy just theme that's recurring throughout this entire movie, and that's brought to life by his lighting and his shots. I love how he has intent in having static shots locked down on a tripod and just very swift and nimble camera panning work that is just so gorgeous and so incredibly done. But it's just, yeah, his movies always look incredible. And whether it's a pull out or just a pan, they're so intricate, and you could tell that he just is going to do it time and time again until it's right, and that is Fincher for you. I mean, that's just how he is. So from a technical aspect of cinematography, which is just gorgeous, lighting, shot composition, and overall just director work, I think Fincher is at the top of his game with Zodiac. I think the cutting works. There is one scene, it's probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. There's an interrogation scene. It is so well cut together. All of the shots, choices and everything, just the right moments of when to make a cut, when to be on the person they're interrogating and everything. It's just brilliant editing work. And there was not one moment where I was out of this case, or I felt like I didn't give a crap about what was happening, or I felt that the movie was dragging, it was slow, I wasn't into what was being said and what was trying to be discovered within the case. I was always 100% invested. Now, this movie is quite long. It is. It's over 2.5 hours, and you feel that length. But at not one point, as I just said, did I feel like this movie was slow, or like it was too long, or like I wanted more as I kept watching. Like when the movie cut to black and you get the subtitles, I was like, that's it? It's done? I want more. I want to see more. I wanted them to actually have filmed more. I was so sucked into this world and into this case and into these characters and into cracking it myself. I didn't want the film to end. That's how much I loved it. I didn't feel there was a slow moment. I didn't feel the pacing dragged. The editing is fantastic in this movie, in my opinion. Excellent cuts overall. I'm rambling now. No, it's really good. I also think the performances are really quite good. Jake Gyllenhaal plays Robert Graysmith, our cartoonist working for the San Francisco Chronicle. Paul Avery is played by Robert Downey Jr., a reporter working for the Chronicle. And then we also follow Mark Ruffalo and Anthony Edwards, who play two detectives, I think working with the San Francisco Police Department. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I just watched the movie. It's still fresh in my head. I don't remember every single detail of a 2.5 hour long movie, but that's me. Yeah, so I thought performances and all that were really solid. Jake Gyllenhaal, again, proves to me that he is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, male actor working today. He always hands in excellent 100% dedicated, committed performances. He always gets lost in the characters he's portraying. He always envelops them and becomes them and inhabits their traits, and leads me to just say he is such a good actor. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to get into the mindset of a character, and he does that very well in this, as he absolutely shined in the end of the second act and the third acts in this movie. Wow, he brought it. He nailed it. He brought it home. He was so good in this movie. Robert Downey Jr. is also very, very good. He's essentially Robert Downey Jr. He gets drunk in the movie. He's very confident. He knows what he's saying. He always feels like he has an idea of what's going on with the case, essentially, even though he's still left out in the dark, and you could tell that this is something that's bothering him. The idea of not knowing. All of these people are bothered by the idea of not knowing who is this Zodiac killer, and as they try to find out more about him. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was great. Mark Ruffalo was also really, really good as one of the detectives. And I thought the guy who was cast as the Zodiac killer, he is shown, he is interrogated, or as we all think, because this case is still unsolved and open to this day. I thought he was excellent. From the one interrogation scene that he has alone, I was 100% just creeped out and skeeved out by this guy. His voice, his blank look, I bought it. David Fincher always, with John Doe in Seven, and with the Zodiac killer in this movie, I think he does a great job at picking out people who are mentally not all there and who are serial killers, essentially. I think, yeah, excellent work, my good sir. And whoever was the casting director obviously did a good job. So yeah, this movie presented a case that I 100% was invested in, to the point where I was so sucked into the movie, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I couldn't stop. I couldn't wait to find out who was going to make it out of this story alive, or who was going to be pinned for these murders, who was going to get arrested or whatever. You know, I was 100% invested into that aspect of this movie from start to finish, especially in the last hour of the movie. Just the tension rises, the suspense is always there, and I was 100% entertained. That is the point of thrillers. They are to entertain. And because this was a factual movie, and because everything in this movie actually happened, I was 100% even more skeeved out. In the murder scenes, I felt disgusting. I felt creeped out. I felt dirty. by having seen this guy and having heard his voice and everything. And that's just ultimately how I felt having watched the entire movie, as I did when I watched Seven. I love how Fincher's films make you feel a certain way, and in this case, I felt disgusted with myself and disgusted with the fact that this actually happened to people, and that is what made the movie work as well as it did for me. In the end, Zodiac is a palpable thriller that does not stop moving in terms of pacing, camera work, directorial work, the screenwriting. I think that there's always pieces being added to the story and to the puzzle that you have to solve on your own and somehow, and it's just all that more exciting and thrilling to watch. Performances are great. The score is great. I think the film perfectly captured the spirit of the 60s and the 70s and how people dress, how they act, music, the soundtrack itself. I thought was all really, really well done as a period piece as well, because this is a period piece. My only flaw with Zodiac that is keeping me from saying this is a perfect movie, it's my favorite Fincher film, it's probably not my Fincher film, it's probably like my third favorite Fincher film. Personally, Seven is my favorite, and Gone Girl I might like just a smid more than Zodiac, but Zodiac, my one problem with the movie, and this ties into the characters. That's the one thing I didn't talk heavily about was the characters. I talked about the performances. I didn't talk heavily about the characters. Because certain characters, especially Jake Gyllenhaal's character, I feel they did a very well job establishing and bringing them along on this journey, especially towards the end and in certain aspects. I thought Mark Ruffalo's character was very well prevalent in the first act of the movie and even some of the second act of the movie. And I thought Jake Gyllenhaal's character came in a very well place. My only problem with them as characters is that while I felt that the movie worked so hard on bringing this case to life in the story and portraying everything and reenacting everything as if it actually happened and just bringing it all to film, my problem was the characters themselves I didn't think were fully developed, nor did I feel for them as people as I watched the movie. And that's what kept me from loving this movie and saying it's a masterpiece or it's the best Fincher film. I felt that honestly needed work. I would have loved maybe another scene or two with Jake Gyllenhaal's character. As I said, I didn't want the movie to end. I felt it was long. I didn't feel it was so long to the point where I didn't want to watch anymore because I wanted more. I wanted more with Gyllenhaal's character in the beginning. I feel we really just get scenes of him caring for his son and just him there at the Chronicle and him interacting with a few people. But other than that, I didn't get inside of his head until the end of the movie. And by the time when we get inside of his character's head as he's trying to crack this case essentially by himself, it was a little too late for me. I felt the same way about Robert Downey Jr.'s character. I wanted other scenes from him outside of his place of work, essentially. And I could even say the same for Mark Ruffalo. I just wanted more from those core characters that would have made me just feel for them even more so than I did watching the movie. I just felt that they needed more meat on them. You know what I mean? They needed more to sell them as these characters who are on this unbelievable, unforgettable journey trying to crack this one case of this one deranged serial killer. And there you have it. That is my only flaw with Zodiac. Everything else is perfect, though, in my opinion. And this is a 100% entertaining and disgusting movie to watch. It is disturbing, without a doubt. And I definitely will recommend this. This is not a movie for the faint of heart, without a doubt. I still am going to recommend this movie to every movie buff, every Fincher fan. You're going to love this movie if you have not yet seen it. Zodiac, I am going to go very high with my grade. Didn't go all the way, but I am going to go 9.5 out of 10, or a grade of an A for Zodiac. It is definitely one of Fincher's best. Not my personal favorite Fincher, but for sure one of his best. It's just a thriller. It's a crime film that just keeps you invested thoroughly to find out the answers yourself until you come to the point where you are as obsessed as Jake Gyllenhaal's character becomes in this movie. And it's amazing. There's some very well-crafted sequences in this movie, and there is an amazing... I love the ending of this movie. I love the opening. I love the scenes that absolutely hooked me into the film and drew me in. And there were moments that confused me, and as I'm sure they confused, I was like, wow, there's so many characters I gotta juggle. But yeah, there's so many suspects and everything that these people had to actually deal with in the real case. So there you have it. Guys, I love Zodiac. What did you guys think of it? Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. I would really appreciate you guys to tell me what you thought. And as always, guys, I thank you so much for watching my videos, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.